Good morning, community. On behalf of the Rescuing Our Communities podcast, I am Clayton here with another special broadcast into intimate partner stalking, um, prosecutorial misconduct, basically the ills of domestic violence and injustice when as it comes to minority males and minorities overall. So today's live cast, people, is for me to highlight a special initiative. That special initiative that I am highlighting, I am quite proud to I am very proud to announce is StatenIslandIsCorrupt.com. StatenIslandCorrupt.com is my personal centralized website that will highlight all the corruption that has happened in Staten Island and not just specifically within the last 10 years. No. Anyone who has been falsely arrested, maliciously prosecuted, beaten by the police, set up by the police, I give you StatenIslandIsCorrupt.com as a central place to highlight what was done to you. We will verify all the information you send to us because this is not a mission to attack the police or minimize their ability to effectively control criminal activity on Staten Island. No, this is an initiative to highlight the corruption of corrupt members of the Staten Island District Attorney's Office in the NYPD on Staten Island. Officers who use their position to set up innocent minorities, um, like I was set up, simply fighting against Francina Evans, my crazy ex-girlfriend, who happened to be connected to bigots and racists on Staten Island and did not like the fact that a black man was the victim over a black woman. Because see, ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what happened to me. I was a black man. I was a black man who Francina Evans accused of rape, sexual assault, battery, forcible touching, anything you can name. This young woman accused me because she knew she had the racist who is Michael McMahon backing her to support her claims that she had been abused. So, people, I didn't stand a chance. I had to learn. I had to grow. I had to become a different person when fighting this young woman because people, nothing I was doing was working. I had all the legality of the state behind me. I had multiple orders of protection. I had police reports. I had everything I needed, people. But no, I was a black man who had the legal right of victimhood. And Michael McMahon's racist institution of Staten Island, controlled by racist detectives in the detective squad, they didn't want that, people. There was no way they could allow a black man like me to be the victim. So what did they do? They completely falsified my victimhood by arresting my offender and honoring her as though she was the offender. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that has since been dismissed as that offender has been proven to be a pathological liar. But see, people, racism and corruption doesn't end there, especially when you have a determined offender who has those same racists protecting her to protect their image now that you can expose them. See, people, my ex has corruption all around her because the truth is society does not want black men to have any legitimate rights to victimhood. If you have a legitimate right to victimhood as a black man, they have to help you as a victim, and they don't want to help you as a victim. They want to prosecute you as an offender. So what they'll do is ignore your victim rights, violate your constitutional rights and your civil rights. Anything it takes simply to deny you the protections that you may have legally been awarded in the court of law. And people, I can speak this confidently because it was done to me. This is what was done to me by prosecutors, not only in Staten Island, but in New Jersey also. Because I had the unfortunate pleasure of having a racist white woman be my prosecutor. And as we all know, not all white women are racist, but there still are a lot of women out there who are racist. This racist white woman didn't like the fact that a black man was a victim, so she intentionally withheld information from a prosecution and allowed my offender to falsely label me with a mental illness that the prosecutor knew had been falsified. People, once this information was given to the prosecutor, I, the black man, the actual victim that had proof that my offender had been wronging me for 2 years, I was locked out of the criminal prosecution of my offender, and the court acquitted her because the victim was not involved to give his evidence and his testimony, which is a complete violation of victim rights. Because of the injustice done to me by a corrupt woman backed by racists and bigots, people, it has forced me in a position to sue two state prosecutors' office in two incredibly large cities, which is Staten Island and Newark, New Jersey. This is not something I've wanted to do. It's something I've been forced to do, people. Sometimes in life puts you in positions to do one of two things. You can either cower or you can fight. And I've never been a coward. So what I decided to do was fight. I sued the people who had violated my civil rights. And I continue to advocate against the people who have wronged me. The monsters, the unethical racists and bigots who violated my civil rights for a woman who was definitively proven on audio to be a pathological liar. And people, the problem is when racism and bigotry control law enforcement, this is what you will deal with as a minority. They will intentionally lock you out of your rights as a victim because they do not want to give you your victim rights. What they truthfully want to do is empower your offender against you so they can lock you up. But you have to be knowledgeable. As a victim, you have to take your victimhood into your own hands and not leave it in the hands of racists and bigots who don't give a damn about you. That's the truth. Law enforcement doesn't care if someone violates you, especially if you're a minority male. Hell no. They're actually getting mad when they look and see a minority male as the victim. Do you know why? Because now they can't arrest you. They have to help you. That's what Staten Island did to me. So people, instead of raging against the machine, instead of coming online being an uncouth nigger as I've been called, I have decided to take a page from the book of my great late mother, who adorns the logo of the charity behind me, and I have decided to advocate and fight against the people who have wronged me. The methods I choose is to use my right to public media and my right to I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God, to free speech in publication and do what I can do, see people. So people, I create a centralized place to highlight the corruption and the racism of Staten Island, and that is Staten Island is corrupt.com. It is a website that is completely owned and controlled by the charity people. It is not to slander the Richmond County DA's office, but it is to highlight the corruption and the racism and the bigotry of that office. Because people, I am a man who can show you in writing it was done to me. I can show you how prosecutors lied to me. I can show you how prosecutors tried to set me up for a woman they knew was guilty. And people, I can show you how prosecutors denied me the protections of a federally protected order so they could arrest my offender and prosecute me as an innocent black man. All of this is true. All of this is the basis of a federal lawsuit now, people. I can show you how Staten Island, even though they knew Gwendolyn Carr, the mother of Eric Garner, had lied about her car being stolen, still prosecuted me and another innocent black man, even though we had proof we had paid Gwendolyn Carr over $10,000. People, I can show you how Staten Island allowed me to be jumped by 5 people the night my mother died and refused to prosecute those people because they had a case against me for a fictitious auto theft for Gwen Carr. All of this happened. People, Staten Island is corrupt. My mission is to expose that corruption, people, and I'll put my life on the line for it. People, I'm willing to put my freedom on the line to expose what Staten Island did to me. And even if they try to come after me with some bogus case that these racist bastards create, people, I thank God for the personal knowledge I now have to fight that racism, to fight the injustice that's happening to me. Ladies and gentlemen, Staten Island is corrupt, and my mission is to expose that corruption and highlight the wrong that was done to me by Michael McMahon, his racist office, the racist detectives of the NYPD on Staten Island, and again, officers who are watching, because I know you're watching. I'm not insulting every NYPD detective. Some of you out there are good men and women who do their job by the book and to protect the people. But all of the racist bigots like Joseph Quirk, God, what was this other guy's name? God, no, he wasn't. He was actually good. Joseph Quirk. What was this other guy's name? God, I can't remember this guy's name that just arrested me for Francina. De Palma, Matthew De Palma. Every racist detective, Michael LeVay, every racist detective on Staten Island who filed false charges on me for Francina Evans, I'm going to get your ass by exposing every wrong you can do. Because people, I deserve the respect of an apology. I deserve the rights of a victim once I was awarded them, not to be denied them by some racist ass white boys who did not want to give a black man his rights. People, I was created by injustice on Staten Island. I am the child of injustice created by Victor Brown, Michael McMahon, and the racist detectives on Staten Island. They created the advocate that is Clayton Howard by denying my victim rights and denying my civil liberties. So people, this is not only about the offender, Francina Evans, for me. This is about justice. This is about how I was robbed by racist law enforcement on Staten Island and overall, simply because I was a black man trying to fight for my freedom. Now, yeah, it did happen in other places, but it never happened as severely as it happened in Staten Island, where a man can win a court order against a woman and then literally 4 days later be arrested for winning that court order because the woman lied and said everything was a lie. Mind you, the man has audio recordings to prove the woman is lying. People, none of that mattered to the racist cops on Staten Island, Joseph Quirk, Michael LeVay, and Matthew De Palma. None of that mattered because they had a black man with a past criminal record. So despite the fact this black man had so much proof against this black woman, None of that mattered to the racists and bigots on Staten Island because they wanted to protect the black woman. They said, fuck the black man. Well, people, they said fuck the black man to the wrong black man. People, Staten Island is corrupt.com is my first initiative to expose the corruption, the lies, the deceit, the racism, the bigotry, the sexism, favoritism that infest my community within Staten Island. People, my mission has to become to expose these bastards for the piece of crap they are. And people, I'm not going to stop until I do it. I know they're going to come after me, people. But true heroes are born of adversity. They're not born sitting in the house. They're not born doing things safe so people can stay safe. No, people, I'm putting myself on the line to expose what Michael McMahon's office has done to me and the 120 in my community. I'm not afraid to speak against racism and bigotry, people, because these racists and bigots have already showed me the depths that they are willing to go to violate my civil rights and break the law. So people, once a man or a woman shows you that they're willing to go and violate their principles to attack you, people, you need to adjust and you need to not be afraid to do what is necessary to expose that. Keep opening your mouth, people, is the best way you can do it. Don't allow a coward who's in a position of power to make you feel that you can't speak your mind because they happen to be in position. People, fuck them people in the district attorney's office. Those are jobs that they have, people. And just like they were hired, they can be fired. Just like a district attorney is elected, he can be voted out, people. And just like a detective, just like a detective takes a badge and is given detective status by the NYPD, he can be suspended if it's found out that he lied and falsified information on a victim. And that's exactly what the racist detectives and the unjust prosecutors of Staten Island did to Clayton Howard. Clayton Howard was an innocent black man who simply was awarded an order of protection for a woman to stay away from him. This lying, unethical piece of crap woman lied to a racist cop, and that racist cop arrested an innocent black man for actually winning a federally protected order of protection. And then the same racist community propped this lying woman up on stage to honor her as a victim, only to have to drop the charges 6 months later once they found out she was a pathological liar. And racism on Staten Island is so strong, people, guess what? They denied that black man the simple courtesy of an apology because their racist agenda would not allow them to lower themselves and apologize to a black man they looked down on. But people, guess what? Clayton Howard is a fighter. And those fuckheads are going to look up at me one day and realize what they did to me. People, on behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, my name is Clayton Howard, and this is my story. How racism in prosecutorial offices like Staten Island violated my civil rights, people. They created the advocate who talks to you now daily. They created the black man who is willing to sit down and look through constitutional law to find out how his rights was violated. They created the black man who looks at the victim rights and domestic violence rights so he can tell them what they have done wrong to them. People, they created the advocate who speaks against the corruption, racism, bigotry, sexism, and favoritism in that office, and who can show proof that it actually exists. They created Clayton Howard, and Clayton Howard is not going to disappoint. So on behalf of Justice and Operation Rock, people, support StatenIslandIsCorrupt.com. If you have a story of corruption that has happened to you on Staten Island, of a false arrest, of being assaulted, of being falsely accused of anything on Staten Island that you were acquitted of because of you were innocent, people, holler at me. Let's highlight your story. Let's spread the message of how Staten Island's corrupt district attorney, Michael McMahon, is a racist who has nothing better to do than prosecute innocent black men. Let's tell the story about how the racist detectives of Staten Island plant drugs on people, put false charges on them and false arrests, manipulate prosecutions so they can simply violate the rights of minorities, people. That has become my mission. And the only true way an advocate can accomplish a goal that is worthwhile to the people, if it comes from within himself to have a purpose to truly pursue that. And people, I have been given purpose by what Francina Evans did to me. People, I was horribly lied on and slandered, people. I was arrested multiple times for something I didn't do. Why do I not deserve my justice? Because I'm a black man? Why does this woman still deserve to claim false victimhood that she can't even substantiate, people? This woman started off telling people she was raped. I put recordings up where she admits she was never touched. Suddenly she changes it to coercive control. People, she lies and says a man used the dog to keep her in a relationship. What does Clayton do? Show audio and text messages of her trying to coercively keep him in a relationship, threatening not to give him back his dog if he didn't sign over a business he paid thousands of dollars to start. But people, once I proved that, everybody backed up again. People, I was created by injustice on Staten Island. And that creation is going to be a nightmare for the Staten Island District Attorney's Office and the racist officers on the NYPD. don't like me, law enforcement on Staten Island, because you created me. No, you created the injustice that created Clayton Howard, and now you have to deal with it. So on behalf of justice and Operation Rock People, this is my story. Like, share, and follow. If you have any contributions to Staten Island